Hey, welcome back. We're going to spend today reviewing n. We're going to add one thing in, rational exponents and square roots. We're going to practice how to switch back and forth today. And just the biggest thing is that you notice that what's on the bottom here. So if I have m divided by n, that goes in front. And typically, what you guys would have and notice is that normally we have like something like the square root of 16. Hopefully you guys know that the square root of 16 is 4. And then if we go the other way, we know that 4 squared is 16. So the one thing that they don't put in there is that whenever you just have the square root by itself, there's a 2 that goes there. So if we look down at our first example, if you don't see a number there, really it's the square root. And that's what it defaults to. Although sometimes we'll have a cube root or a fifth root, and so on. So they just want you to switch back and forth, and then if you can, simplify. Alright, so let's switch them back and forth here. So all you do is just take what's in front here and put it underneath. So if I'm going this direction, this now becomes x to the third over 2. And then here, so I have the 3 on the outside. Again, that goes to the bottom. So this becomes m to the 2/3. This is the one that gets a little tricky because there's not a number here. So really what this is 64 to the 1/2 power. Because that's really 64 to the first. But we can simplify that further, and you may have recognized 8 times 8 is 64, but usually if you get a whole number here, you're going to be able to simplify it. And one more here. Okay, if we have something like this, x to the 10 over 5, you can actually take that and simplify that. If you were to have your calculator, 10 divided by 5 is just 2. So really, this is the same thing as x squared. So if I took a number like 4 and put this in, 4 to the 10 over 5 is the same thing as 4 squared, which is 16. So a couple more examples here. Alright, write each radical using a rational exponent. Right, in this case, this is, we already did this one up top, but this is 64 to the 1/2. Like I said, that one would simplify to 8. But when we don't have variables, sometimes they're not going to simplify. So this one here becomes 4 to the 5th over 3. Okay, and if you had your calculator, you'd probably be able to simplify that further, but we'll leave that one as is. Down here, d to the 12th over 7. And now if you notice on this one here, there is a negative, although it doesn't show up very well. It's a negative 10. So what we end up having is, first thing, we could simplify this and get rid of that negative. So if we do that, we'd still have our 5th root of 1 over b to the 10th, because it's one of our old rules. Alright, and then I would just switch that around here, and I'd put parentheses around it, because this entire thing is underneath our 5th root sign, and then this would become the 1/5 power. Okay, your assignment today is to go through this entire thing and review. So you're going to use old notes and videos or whatever you need. If you have the cheat sheet that we did beginning of each day before break, you should just be able to pull these out and write the rules here. For example, I'll do the first one for you. So number 5, if you checked your notes, that's just 1/x to the n. Remember, you can never have a negative in your answers. Okay, or if it's on the bottom, we just move it to the top. X to the n. So if you check your little cheat card that we made before break, we do that, and then there's 3 practice problems for that. And then you're just going to kind of follow through on some of our different rules that we've had. Okay, when multiplying terms with like bases, with dividing, and you'll go all the way through. And then notice here, we go back to our rules that we had over here previously. Now let's just go back up to the first page, copy it down. There it is there. And there's a couple more that you can go both directions, forward and backward. Okay, so you're going all the way through 34, but they should go pretty quick. We've already done the first 5. Show your work as needed. Some of these would have an intermediate step, like this one here. You would flip to 6 squared over 3 to the first. You need to show that step. And then you would have 36 over 3, and then you'd have your answer of 12. All right, have a great Monday.